The horses are now nearing the starting gate. And they're off. As the field comes into the stretch.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Aqueduct. Beautiful day here in South Ozone Park, Queens. Main track is fast. Mandatory payout in the Empire 6 each and every racing day through at least the end of January. Begins in race 4 on the 9-race card. Temperatures in the mid-40s. Sunny skies. Here are the changes for today's races. The early pick 5 begins in race number 1. We have a scratch. Scratch the 5, Highland Beach. Race number 1, scratch the 5, Highland Beach. No changes in race 2, the start of the early pick 4. And no changes in race 3. Or race 4, again, mandatory payout in the Empire 6 begins in race number 4. Late pick 5 starts in race 5. There are no changes. In race number 6, please note the number 4, Centavo, races with cheek pieces again. Cheek pieces again on the number 4, Centavo, and the late pick 4 begins in race number 6. A scratch from race 7. Please note post time has changed to 3:23 for race number 7. Scratch the 8, Jack Bow. Race 7, scratch the 8, Jack Bow with a new post time of 3:23. Race 8 is the 150th running of the $100,000 Ladies. Post time has been changed to 3:54, and you can scratch the number 3, Bridlewood Cat. Scratch the 3, Bridlewood Cat from race 8, the 150th running of the Ladies with a new post of 3:54. A couple of changes in the finale. An equipment change. The number 6, Homedale Park, races with a hood again. Hood again on the 6, Homedale Park. And a rider change for the number 8, Foley Square. Make her rider Kendrick Carmouche. Kendrick Carmouche rides number 8, Foley Square. New post time of 4:25 p.m. for today's finale. Sunny skies, a fast main track, a mandatory payout each and every day through at least the end of January in the Empire 6. It starts today in race number 4. Post time for the opener set to come your way at 12:20. Up next, a sensational Sunday edition of Talking Horses with myself and Andy Serling.
Serling on a solo. I can't go the guy to my left. Anyhow, talking horses. Sunday, January 17th, excuse me, 4-day weekend. We race through tomorrow. Dr. Martin Luther King Day is tomorrow. We will be racing for an 8-race card with a first post of $12.50. You know the drill. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, head on over. NairaBets.com. Use the promo code MATCH200. Sign up. We will match up to $200 your initial deposit to support racing in New York. Support racing in general. You play through an ADW that's based on a racetrack. The money stays in the game. You don't want the money to go out of the game. Racing needs to keep the money in the game to keep the game sustainable. Also, we're offering a 50-50 with Laurel today. If you bet at least 50 or more on Aqueduct and Laurel, excuse me, through your app and the app only, you will earn a $10 bonus. As advertised, there is a man to my left.
Hello.
And he's the Big A. You're calling today.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days off. Wow. What a vacation you got.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Thanks.
Feeling good?
Feel good, yeah. Took a nice, had a good day in the backyard with the boys yesterday. Played some ponies. Was able to catch America's Day at the races. Nice work by everyone. The inaugural show for the season.
That Lecomte was the craziest race. Why was that Mandaloon horse 3-5?
I don't get.
I don't know. Everybody looks at the PPs and says he looks like he can't lose.
Asking a horse from the outside draw, 2 turns for the first time.
But what's so good about either of his races?
And he was good in his races,
He was
but
fair.
not 3-5 in a field where the winner.
There's an argument the winner should have been favored.
There's an argument the winner had also run.
It's also low speed.
Every race was a mile or beyond. And the other horse has never been. The winner was around 2 turns in the first 2 starts of his career, and then 2 good mile races.
I'm not sure of that. Ellis isn't 2 turns for
It's
miles.
the 1.5 turns. Yeah,
It's actually kind of interesting. The horse had run 4 races. I noticed that when I was talking about it in the show, that the horse had run 4 races a mile, and none of them were actually effective. But it doesn't matter. The point is, Mandaloon was a preposterous
terrible favorite.
Preposterous.
Terrible price. If you want to make them favorite, that's one thing. To make them,
I thought they'd be 6-5 and 7-5. That's what I thought.
And I kind of thought the other horse would be 2-1, like that. And I didn't really think, so I'm not going to bet.
Other horse is totally stake-faced. He's running whatever. But I see. I didn't get Mandaloon to begin with. I didn't particularly get the favorite.
I wanted to bet against. I couldn't find her. I went dead in the pick 5. I couldn't find the winner of the Silver Bullet Day, but the one I wanted to bet against was Sunpath. I wanted to bet against.
Well, I was going to bet a horse was scratched. I probably would have bet the 1, but I didn't trust her on dirt. She got a. I don't. Was that the instructions to take the speed, the lone speed back?
I'm glad. I'll tell you, I'm glad I didn't bet her.
Anyhow, race number 1. Anthony went right out and betrayed his friend Lee Einsider.
I got to hear from both ends. Lee texted me after the scratches before I went on the air that Andy picked Repo Rocks.
He also
today,
just texted me, when does Talking Horses start?
Well,
Isn't it Repo Rocks?
I get that a lot. It's Repo.
Well, then you should have put 2 P's in it. It's not Repo Man, is it? I guess it sort of is. Repossess. No, it's Repo.
This is so Repo, I believe, is an alcoholic beverage. Repo on the rocks. Kind of like no salt, no lime. God bless you. It's true. So that's what I think it is. And I think it's Repo as REPO.
Well, I tell you what I don't love. I don't love 2 Boss. God, you've got Lee's horse 3rd. Oof, you're in trouble.
Here we go. Got to hear it from both ends.
I don't like this horse. Rail was good this day. Rail was very good, in fact, this day. I thought this horse did absolutely no running, was second by default in a race where nobody ran and everything was on the rail. And everybody else in the race was off the rail except the winner and him.
Okay. Yeah.
I know it's Top Letcher. He could improve. He ran a good enough fig. I think he's as dressed up as a horse can be.
Just looking for
My
some
main
improvement.
feeling is against him. I'll use the expensive firster and Repo Rocks, even though it's against my nature to mispronounce horses phonetically.
You still call him Riken?
Because I've never mispronounced a horse's name.
You still call him Riken?
Ever. Yeah, it's Riken. Lafitte Pinkai and I are going to our deaths calling him Riken.
The guy was on America's Day at the races, Saratoga Live, telling you why the horse was named Riken.
Doesn't matter. We're phonetic. We believe in English language.
Unbelievable.
We're going to keep that English language going forward.
Khafre, by the way, number 2, was an Egyptian king in the 4th century.
I knew him.
Son of Khufu.
He was a neighbor.
Son of Khufu. That's all true, by the way. Yeah, I heard this horse come around a little bit, not from the rider or agent.
Your tips have been right on.
They haven't been
You know,
great.
you know when they're good? Like their 5th start after they've run 4 horrendous races.
Baba?
They start getting good. That could be an angle. 5th start after 4 horrendous races. Oh, by the way.
That was
favorite
Bronx
moment of the
Bomber.
day.
Bronx Bomber was 5th start too. Paid $60.
That's my favorite one, Bronx Bomber. My favorite one about Bronx Bomber was I loved him the day he won, and you didn't like him at all.
He blew
And
me up
it
in
was like
something. He beat
$5.
me.
I remember going to the window, and you said to me, Bronx Bomber can't lose. He's a freak. I think he ran a freakish
No, I'm giving
fifth.
him up
Wasn't
on
he
that.
like
Billy
80s?
Castle. Thanks, Billy Castle. Bronx
I
Bomber.
hear from Billy now and again. Anyhow, with Repo Rocks, I thought he actually
Repo?
ran a lot better than it looks last time out. That was the day you wanted to be on the rail. He was wide. He made a middle move into a quick pace that collapsed. I thought he was doubly against it. If you go back to his 71 by or 2 back at Churchill, he's fast enough to win this race, and his last race is not nearly as bad as it looks. So I thought he'd be the 3rd choice behind the expensive Firster and the Todd Pletcher horse.
And then he gets back to
Good
7.
enough for me. And
yeah.
you know, I actually try to have some loyalty to my friends. I pick against the horses all the time.
I mean, this is
That's the thing that's amazing.
You picked against No Salt when he was 1 to 400 in Saratoga.
I laughed when I picked this horse. This is about the 3rd time I've ever picked a horse that Lee owns. My favorite Lee moment, and we should do like a montage sometime of great Lee moments on our shows, was when Maggie interviewed him in the paddock, and he had a horse in the last race, and I knew what was going to happen. He had the only live ticket in the pick 6. He showed her the ticket, because that always works, showing you your ticket, and he got beat ahead.
Oh. Was that Mobridge?
I bet the winner. By the way, I want to say, I don't think it was Mobridge. I think it may have been an even worse horse. Could have been, though. And I actually liked the horse that won to beat it. So it was really like one of the most satisfying moments.
How great was Mobridge? Mobridge was so much fun.
It was?
Retired him to Maryland.
Okay, what's the story of the 2 besides a tip?
That's it. I mean,
This is a crazy price to have paid for the number 2.
It is.
Coffre?
Coffre. Yes.
Coff?
I went CAF dash.
I got you.
RAY.
I can do that, yeah.
Went Coffre. Phonetically. A couple of Jimmy Jerkin's horses don't ordinarily have as fast a work tab as this horse does.
Well, the second dam was a very good sprinter. She ran some fast figures. This dam was bad. She's produced 3 foals that did no running. So it's kind of weird they paid $500,000, but they should be right.
As far as, and look, with the 2 bullets, Jose Lascano,
Excuse me.
Repo really doesn't have a lot of
been fine. I
speed.
don't know why I'm sneezing.
2 boss didn't really show any speed. I'm just assuming Jose's going to put him on the lead today. But you know what Felix and Oscar said about assuming.
I
just
assume,
didn't
I
love
assume
either
that the
runner.
4 is going to have speed today.
Okay.
Second time starter. I don't think the 1's that slow either. Anyhow, we'll see what happens in race number 1. I don't lean on firsters too often, unless I really don't like horses.
Oh, I'm
that
not
run.
saying I'm leaning. I'm just, I don't
Right.
love the others.
Race number 2. A lot of agreeing on this show. The number 4, Behind the Couch, we'll take a look at the race. I want to show the beginning of the last race. See that Kame steadied on break. You know, I found another horse on Thursday's card where there was a Trackus error and they have the absolute wrong running line for a horse. This horse doesn't break and gets steadied all the way back to last. Charlie Marquez, who rode, by the way, I believe back at Laurel, not riding here anymore. And if you look at the running line, you don't realize the trip this horse had. You have to actually watch the race to see how well this horse ran. And was also doing it against a much, much better field. Now, I know the rail was good, but I don't really care about that. This horse actually ran a lot better than it looks against a much better field. And I mean, this horse on paper looks like she's supposed to be 3 to 5 in here. It's ridiculous how much
we
she
say this often on Talking Horses, Andy. She almost looks too good.
I agree.
She almost makes too much sense.
On paper?
On paper, she's supposed to win this race as handily as a winner on this card.
It's rare that you see him in these situations, but because it doesn't look like a huge drop down. She was claimed for 30, but my gosh, she's supposed to bury this field.
Yep.
She runs her last race. I mean, she runs her last race. She absolutely can't lose this
And she was the kind of filly earlier in the 3-year-old year. The connections thought she was going to be a New York bred stakes filly. They tried her. She only got beat 4 lengths to newly minted. Then they tried her going long, and that ever since the race going long, the wheels kind of came off the proverbial bus. She found her way to the maiden ranks. She found her way into Kentucky. But man,
she's just not that good. She never really progressed. She never got better. She ran one fast race.
The last 2 races, I mean, her last 2 races.
Her last 2 races will smother this field.
Smother this field.
It's you know, I mean, I've got Mia Be a Star second. I mean, you've got the ridiculous.
I thought there was a chance. I thought
She's so naughty has about as much chance to win this race as you and I in a horse suit. Can I take the 2 against the 3?
No, listen. Like I said, I thought she was the. I thought she was the single of all singles today behind the couch.
On paper,
How do you get past her?
On paper, she's supposed to.
I
pay
thought there'd be a
$3.
little moisture left in the track, and that She's So Naughty had some experience on wet tracks, and that was the only reason I was going to use her. I'm stunned the track was fast, but I should.
Her win is so bad, it's hard to believe if you actually looked it up. Race number 3. Race number 3 is a tricky, tricky race because I honestly look at this race, and I'm not going to be overly surprised to see too many horses win this race. I mean, I would argue that Prospect Mountain, the 1, might be the horse to beat in here. And David does have the horse, the favorite, and I don't blame him. This horse is running against better horses. I think he's actually run pretty well in his races. But he's had pretty good trips, but I think he's logical. And stretching out a mile is not much pace. He's supposed to be forward in here, isn't he?
Well, yeah, and I think my biggest issue with him is the fact that he's gotten pretty good trips and setups. They've kind of gone quick in his races, and now you're asking him to be a little more versatile in a slower pace.
Well, why wouldn't he be?
Well, because sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Well, they didn't go quick last time. I mean, that race didn't fall apart. He actually closed into a race where nobody else closed. I don't know. I thought he was super logical. I think one of the things about it, and I do have the horse 3rd, I think your horse is going to be massively overbet. A blowout win, maiden winner from Todd Pletcher. I don't think people will be able to get away from it. And this horse might have beat one of the worst fields in racing history.
I think you might be able to take out one of from that sentence, but.
Yeah, I mean, that was preposterous
But isn't he supposed? Yeah.
He's supposed to what?
I think he's just supposed to lay up off of Respect for All.
So what?
I think that might be enough here.
Why?
Because I don't.
He's not any good. I mean, maybe good enough to win here. Nobody here is a killer, but atrocious race he comes out of.
And have any of them really fit? This was a tough race.
I got him 3rd.
Yeah.
See, I don't agree with David. I got a feeling this horse is going to be co-favorite in this race. They're not going to be able to resist a Todd Pletcher blowout win.
And you know what's funny?
You really think Jimmy Ferrara is going to be favored over Pletcher?
I think David has this line spot on.
He usually does.
I think the 1 and the 2.
I'm sure he considered what I'm saying.
Will be the first 2 choices, and I think the 5 and the 6 will be the 3rd and 4th choices.
2 to me is laughable. I'll be shocked if he wins this race.
Quick turnaround. Yeah.
Speaking of beating terrible field, when you said one of them and you said leave out one of them, no. Actually, Respect for All.
I'll take the 2 and the 2nd and 3rd finishes for all you want over in the Respect for All race.
I'm in.
I'd like to go get the 4 of them.
I'm in for as much as you want in that group. That was an atrocious group that she beat. I would take Blue Grotto over them. Make It in New York. See, the thing I like about Make It in New York is he's the one horse that actually may be better than he looks. You see him well back here, and this was a race where the pace actually held together. And he's going to get in nothing but trouble. He's ankled off. He's gone outside. Probably was an edge that day to be forward in the races, looking at the results. He can't get room to get through here. I mean, this horse, keeps just finding, despite the fact that he's been held up on 2 different occasions, he gets to the inside, and he somehow wins this race. Now, I know he didn't beat very much either, but this horse really outran the dynamics, and he had trouble. He should have won by more.
Overcame a lot last time. In a field like this, I think that's certainly a feather in his cap, and you got to use this. If you're playing pick 4s, pick 5s, you got to use this horse. And you know what? He might be the time. It was funny. The finality of the day. The race knocked loose at 1. We were talking about it on the radio, and it was, the 3. I think there were things to like and dislike about the top 3 choices, and it was the kind of thing where you wanted to bet the horse that I think was the best price, and he turned out to be the best price of the 3. That might very well be the case here, where you're looking at if you think it's down to 3 or 4 horses, and you might just be looking for the horse that's going to be the best price. It will likely be him.
No, I just like him. I thought his last race a lot better than it looks. And obviously you can completely throw out his first race. So.
But doesn't a lack of pace hurt him? I know he closed into it last time, but that pace figures to be maybe a little quicker than this one.
I don't think it's going to be that slow
a
pace. I don't know. I'm not going to get overly caught up in that. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a total crawl fest.
Okay.
Race number 4. Take a look at Shoes Happiness. Finished 2nd to Pendolino, the 1. This horse ran fast enough last time. Where did this race come from?
No idea.
And this was not a good field.
That's what I wanted to
field's
ask
not very
you.
good either. So.
I mean, I guess you can go back to the September 7th race up at the Finger Lakes. It's not that much quicker, right? She ran a 58 that day, But to me, I worried about the fact that she had to leave the circuit, go to Finger Lakes to get the money. I mean, you look at the race two. Right, and you look at the race two back. She got beat for 10-2 life at Finger Lakes. And I don't even think you could blame the wet track because she came back on the track with moisture last time and ran the fastest race she's ever run.
She also just beat Queendom, and her PPs are not exactly impressive. You know what horse actually ran okay last time is Gringotts. Gringotts ran one of her better races last time out. I sort of toyed with picking her on top because she had a ridiculous trip in there. The horse that I don't like and you don't like at all, David has Nikki Scissors 9-5 in the line. Now, I'm not criticizing the line. First of all, I wouldn't want to make the line. Second of all, if David thinks she's going to be favored, you know, it's close between her and the horse that we have on top. But if he thinks she's going to be short, she's going to be short. I've never liked this horse.
I know you haven't.
I know she was third at a mile at Finger Lakes on a wet track.
She's also third at a mile, and this is where I do think the two-turn thing comes into it. That's a two-turn race, and that's going to help speed horses. She was on the lead that day, and she couldn't finish the job.
Well, I didn't look up the chart, so I don't know how Speed did with the other horses. I don't know if the race fell apart or not. I'd have to look that up. But forgetting about that, I just think she's a bad horse. And she's an actress horse that was in Jason's service and Paul and Brad Cox's barn. I don't know, man. She ain't much horse, and she got second by default last time.
Well, you felt like there were half a dozen of them that could have been second last time behind Line of Greeter, right? I mean, I think there was 5 of them were within a length and a half of each other. So yeah.
So why do you like Lottie's Mission?
Here's our problem with Lottie's Mission. She's going to get bet off of I don't want to say it's a phony number, but she didn't do a lot of running to earn that 69 last time. That was the Sharp Star 101.
Except the problem is the 59-2 back is a low number. That's a better race than it looks.
Okay, so then if you feel that
rate, well, look at Meb's Webb, who finished second in there. She got a 46, 52, 57, 46, 55. So there's an argument that number actually should be closer to 69 than it is, which makes I don't disagree with what you're saying about the last race. It's got that turfy feel.
I wish we didn't see the last race on the card. We'd probably get a 1.5 higher on it today.
I don't disagree. I thought she was better than she looks. I'm going to tell you what horse scares me, though, and I probably should have picked her on top if I knew you were going to pick the 6 here, is Not a Problem.
Okay.
Let me just say something, Not a Problem. You know what's really unusual? Look who finished second in her last race. Niall Seville claimed Behind the Couch out of that race. Do you know he also claimed this horse out of the race? I've never seen a trainer claim 2 horses out of a race.
Not allowed to.
Well, in Kentucky you are. Because the chart I looked at had Niall Seville listed as the trainer of both claimed horses. Yeah, I looked at the chart. I'm just telling you, I looked it up.
Learned something new on Talking Horses today.
I've never seen it. Now, I don't know that just because I've never seen it, I probably haven't looked up that many horses. It's unusual to look up a circumstance in Kentucky because it just happens both horses are running. And I saw this and I went, wait a second. Didn't Niall Seville claim Behind the Couch? Let me look. It's probably 2 different guys. Not according to the chart, it's not.
Wow.
So, and go back to race number 2.
I've never heard that.
Forget about that. Go back to race number 2 and look at how much Behind the Couch improved off the Niall Seville claim from a 55 buyer to a 72 and a 69.
Well, she had back figures.
Okay, regardless, she had back figures. Maybe that race is better than it looks. Or maybe he improved her. And all I'm saying is...
If that's your argument, yeah.
This horse has a little bit of a look to me. He did so well with I put it this way. If you think Behind the Couch can't lose, why wouldn't you use this horse at a price and throw it in?
Yeah, I mean, her turf numbers are just so much faster than the dirt numbers.
I understand. I'm not a moron.
But I see what you're saying.
I get it.
She's going to be a decent price, too, unless...
If you don't like Nikki's... I mean, you've got Queendom's third. Queendom has no chance to win this race. I mean, honestly, I'm sorry. Oh, I've insulted them again. Maybe I'll hear on Twitter.
Well, you don't like Meb's Webb, huh?
Why would I like her? I bet her last time.
I thought Meb's Webb would...
You love her at a mile?
No.
I don't.
I think that's what... You know what?
I don't love her. I don't like her.
She's going to be a decent enough price. She's going to be sitting right
better
off
last
Nikki
time.
Scissors.
Yeah, maybe. I don't like her. I had her 5th, if it helps you.
I don't trust a lot of these horses.
They're the same price in the line. We're at 62, by the way.
Queendom for Not a Problem? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Who were you going to say?
I was going to say Queendom and Gringotts. Our third choices.
Oh, all right.
I'll do them both. 7 over 8 and 5 over 8 for 1 each. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. 64, if you're keeping track at home. Want to close out the pick 5 with race number 5?
Can I get a little action with Meb's Web?
No, because I don't think Meb's Web's impossible.
Okay.
Here. The Queendom's impossible. I don't think Meb's Web's
Okay.
impossible. I'll take Meb's Web over Queendom.
No.
Okay, just, you know, I'll take a lot of horses over Queendom. By the way, the horse that Lee lost to pick 6 was with Thin Dress. Lee thinks it's a great memory. Remember that. Lee, I'll never forget that one. If I remember one thing the rest of my life, my last dying breath will be, I remember when Lee went on.
Leave Lee alone, man.
I love Lee. You kidding me? It's a great
Probably
man.
brought you lunch again today.
I got lunch.
All right.
Lee's a great man. Lee and I go way back. I've known Lee longer than you have. I go way back with Lee. Yeah, Lee's a good man. But he's fun to make fun of. Is he not?
No, I don't make fun of Lee.
Oh, he's great to make
Who would
fun
make fun of Lee?
So race number 5.
I don't make fun of my friends.
I should have picked the 6 on top. You know, I gotta tell you something. I misread this. I would have gone 6-2 if I knew Dave was going to make those horses those prices. Let's talk about I'm Fine. I love the name, by the way. I mean, dude, by the way, this horse did not steady at the start. That's what's interesting about it. It says squeezed after
well.
start. I'm not criticizing it. This horse was in there, and
Right now.
or not. There's a little noise outside the studio. Anyhow, that horse just, I mean, gets completely eliminated. We can roll it to the top of the stretch, and I mean, this horse is way, way back. It's not like the race collapsed. And by
She's
the way,
running.
the speed in here came back to win yesterday, though she's cutting back a furlong.
She's running. She's
This
going.
horse-
She moves inside of horses, and
This horse is
she's
running.
gaining ground.
This horse is running. This horse
Running,
is
that's
running.
it. And there's no other way around it. She's running.
Now, she is a classic last time was the time horse, no question about it. But the way she won, and I got a stat for Jeremiah, he's got good numbers off maiden wins. I should have gone 6-2 here if I knew there was going to be that big a discrepancy. Having said that, 2 is way the horse to beat.
Yeah, I'm Fine still has to improve.
Probably.
Take
Probably.
another step
Well,
forward, I
except
would
for
think.
Banker's Daughter is 1 for 12 with 5 seconds. The one thing is she hasn't been a short price only in a couple races
Yeah, but she's gotten beat
by better horses.
by much better horses.
And she was 3 wide against a gold rail last time.
Much better. I mean, her last race.
Her
all
last race is
things
going to make her
considered-
very tough.
Yeah, her last race is going to make her very. Now 6-5.
Espresso
might be-
Shot and Prairie Fire. Well, I mean, look at who they are in this
Yeah.
field. She's supposed to be short. I mean, I'm not. When I think about it, I'm not surprised David made those prices. I thought I'm Fine might be 5-2, and maybe she'd be 8-5. But you know, he's probably right. He's probably right. It's also tough to bet horses off maiden wins that won at 10-1. You know, and the other thing is like, where are you supposed to go here?
No, Courageous Girl's going to be the third choice. There's really not too many places to go.
Well, Courageous Girl isn't bad on figs.
No.
Another horse doesn't win. She's 1 for 15 with 4 seconds.
Yeah. She's cutting back for a sprint for the first time since the break, and then before that, I can't even tell you when she sprinted. Her debut.
2-6 and a smidgen of 5 in the pick 5. If somebody else wins, I lose. I mean, I
Four,
tried
I mean,
Amos
4.
last time.
2-6
4,
and a
excuse
smidgen
me.
of
I
4,
tried
yeah.
Amos last time. I mean, I'm not sure she's finished that race yet. Or maybe she just go right from where when she finishes in the paddock.
She's one I think even you would admit. She moves up considerably on a wet track.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And we even discussed it last time, and it
Yeah.
wasn't unreasonable when you brought it up last time, and it's fair looking at her numbers. But she was so bad last
Awful.
time, it may not even been the dry track.
It might not have mattered. Yeah.
She was, I mean, she was basically
She could have
distant.
ran on a pond last time. I don't think it would have mattered. She didn't lift her legs.
Late pick 4 after a quick break.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
You might not have missed us, but we missed you.
I also found out that you can take 2 out of a race in Florida as well now.
I mean, I don't see why that's a problem.
I don't either. There are a few antiquated rules that I don't.
Really, racing has a few antiquated rules?
Well,
That's a shock.
There are a few.
We're the
of
king
them,
of antiquated.
and that was the one that was one that was just like, why would, if you're looking to spend your money, why would you have to choose?
How is there a horse not named a horse named antiquated?
I think I think there was one.
Well, the other thing about being able to claim more than one horse, in all fairness, is frequently you get outshook.
Yes, very correct. Right. So if you like, let's say 2 or 3 horses in a race, your chances of getting one out of there would be much better if you were able to drop.
Yeah, I don't.
And around here, we've when Saratoga comes, we've literally had
We had one where everybody got
24-way
claimed, right?
shakes.
What is the reason, and I'm sure there is one, though, in racing, it could be, it had something to do with the ham sandwich. What is the reason you can't claim more than one out of a race?
Well, I think that if there was something.
And I don't want to hear, that's the way we've always done it, because that's our usual line.
Then that's a terrible answer. And I think if there was one thing that I would change, the claiming game has changed so much that is something I would absolutely positively address to allow trainers to take more than one. I don't know if you even need to put a limit on it. If you want to go take 3 out of a race, go take 3. I don't. If you're looking to spend your money,
the argument against it is if somebody has a lot of money and they get too many horses in a division or something like that. I guess that's one of the things.
But again, hasn't the claiming game changed?
The game has
so much,
changed.
Andy?
Yes, it does. It's just it's a fair point.
The game
it seems
has
like
changed, but the
game
claiming
changes and we don't change. It's the same old thing.
We run 12-5 claim. The 12-5 claiming pot is 35,000. That's.
Let's go on to race number 6.
That's a game changer.
The thing about race number 6 is, you see our picks and they're the same, and there's no surprise. My gosh, American Gentleman is just run against so much better than these and dropping down. By the way, this was one Ray loved before it ran.
I remember this.
Good call. Good one, Ray. There's a tip. I think he gave this one to Dave Grenig. I think that Dave may have written it. I think that's how I may have knew that Ray liked it.
And then he ran the horse back in like 10, 12 days?
I harassed him about the 13, but I harassed him. There's 31 days in July and August. Just letting you know. 5 and 8. 31 minus 26 is 5.
He ran him on the 8th day of August, so that's 12 days between races.
It's 13.
It's the
13
13th
days.
day.
13 days off. Don't try to cover that.
It's not 13 days off.
You
it's
can't
12 days
add,
off.
and you blew it. Just
It's 12
tone it.
days off. He's running on the 13th day.
This is 12 days off. It's 13 days between races.
Okay.
I bet a few lunches on that one.
One
62.
One of these days, Alice. One of these days.
American Gentleman. I just don't. And the other thing is, like, where are you supposed to go? I mean, honestly, you and I have black and tan second. You really thrilled with black and tan?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wish there was a firster you can try and hit your wagon to, but I don't even think there's a firster.
There's one thing I'll say about black and tan. The last race was a complete and total pace meltdown. That pace fell apart. So that horse actually is better than he looks, and that's why I think he's the other horse in this race.
He's a fresh gelding, and he's also dropping again.
Which firster do you want? He's dropping because he's not any good.
That's what I said. I said it's not even like you can hit your wagon to one of the firsters, right? Rob Actress has the 2 and the 3 up 74, and Euro Silver Biz, he doesn't really run a lot of firsters, let alone win with them.
When we won at Belmont, the first one, the 2 up 74 is a half to 4 horse that couldn't run. The second foal, the 3 is a second foal. The first one couldn't run. The dam was okay on the turf. She was hopeless on the dirt.
They just sent Fedbiz to South Korea. Did you see that? Sire of the 3.
You know who I missed that went there? Tis Wonderful. He was so good with firsters.
Yeah, he was. It's a good call.
I missed Tis Wonderful. I liked Tis Wonderful as a sire.
Yeah, they were good. We won a lot of them here.
They run a lot of turf races in South Korea? Because Fedbiz doesn't get any dirt winners.
I don't believe so.
Right? Basically a turf sire, as it turns out.
But that's what I mean. There's no. I mean, I put
Supposed
Euro
to go.
Silver Biz
I mean,
third.
jailbreaker, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe one of the firsters can run, but otherwise, the 1A or 7 are supposed to win this race. I just don't. I don't know what else to say.
Plain and simple, my friend. I do not disagree. And you know what? If
what?
If you get 8-1 on black and tan.
Yes. I agree with that. I don't think you will.
If you can get 8-1 on him, he might be worth a flyer today.
He does look pretty bad on paper.
Yeah,
but most of them do. Race number 7 is a tricky race. I'm going to show the horse you have second, double shot. This was the situation on January 1st when everybody was talking about what a big speed track it was. Yet Double Shot, who's second to last in the picture right now, moving into the 3-path from the 2-path and angling out to the million path, he came from...
Is that actually a thing, the million path?
Yeah, it is. It's Home Depot. He came from Home Depot, top of the stretch, and made a big run, and nobody else closed. It's not as though the race fell apart. You know, it's such a funny... It's like he was in a completely different race than everybody else. Imagine this race without the winner in it. Right?
God, he wins, but he beats the rest of them by more than the winner beat him.
And ask yourself, fig or not, it'd probably be a lot shorter if the winner was... The winner was 6-5, by the way.
And when he started running, there was a millisecond where if I thought it was going to get close. Because he exploded.
Well, he did. He ran.
Yeah,
I mean, he made up oodles of ground. I just don't love the race he comes out of. I don't think he's good enough to win this race.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I had a tough time with this race.
And he was also cutting back for that race, which I think may have helped him.
I had a tough time with this race. But I think even you'd have to
It's a very hard race.
There's got to be some pace in here, doesn't there?
Well, the pace got a little easier when the 8 came out.
It did. But you got to figure the way Jorge Vargas has been riding, he's getting on Leap to Glory today. Leap to Glory is getting sent today.
I don't know why. Is he running better? Doesn't he run? It seems like he's running a little better rating. I don't know.
I think he's going today.
Okay.
I think that's part of the reason.
I don't think he's impossible. You don't have him anywhere?
Listen, I could hit the all ball here. I had a tough time with this race, man. Because, like you said, the pace got a little easier. Maybe there is no...
Fleet Warrior, it's impossible on paper, and every other horse can win in here. I mean, the one has a couple of good races with Gary Richards riding, and Linda Rice is this horse now. I like Morgantown. Morgantown, if you look at Morgantown's PPs, Morgantown has races good enough to win this in Kelly Breen's barn, and then was claimed and went to a trainer who's 0 for 23. I'm not familiar with it. I don't want to knock her too much, but you're going from a trainer that's 0 for 23, from a trainer who does nothing but wins, back to a trainer who does nothing but win. So it feels like maybe it's reasonable to think the old Morgantown shows up. Now, my problem is the horse draws inside, and there's a potential for pace in here. So I don't know how the race plays out, but I had to give this horse a shot, and the price would be decent enough. Because the other thing is, I don't want to take Munaki coming in from Laurel.
Wow, Munaki's 9-5. Yeah,
well, his last race was fast. I mean, he got a 77 buyer. He's got fast figs, this horse. Munaki can win this race.
He can win. Listen, I think they can all win. You
think Fleet Warrior can win?
If he's going to be 8-5, and that's certainly what David seems to think he's going to be. What if Jack Bowe was? Let's see what Jack Bowe was on the morning line.
Who's Jack?
Jack Bowe was 8-1, so it's inconsequential really as far as the line goes. I mean, if David has him 9-5, he's going to be under 2-1. You want the horse under 2-1?
No, but he can win.
Right, but we had this conversation yesterday in the Charlie 5-0 race. If you think a handful of them can win, why do you want to settle on a favorite?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I picked him third. I'm just saying I think he can win. I think I think you've underestimated him a little bit.
Maybe not Fleet Warrior, but I mean.
Why do you like Bustin' Timberlake?
Well, isn't Bustin' Timberlake the one that's supposed to get the trip off the speed?
I don't know.
I thought he'd be.
So what?
Off.
Where are his fast races?
Well,
he's got one in the mud. He's got a 75 buyer in the mud. He ran okay last time. I'll give him that. He ran okay last time, but I mean, I'm not saying he can't win. I won't be shocked if he wins this race either.
I mean, how many times? Right, the 5.5 furlong races.
They're not all going. They're not all going.
Right.
So why are we confident that he's the one that's going to sit and rate and be able to be good enough? Because he's not that good.
Because it's Kendrick and he's outside. I think Kendrick's most likely going to be the most likely to adapt to a pace, especially with all of the other speed, obviously from the outside draw inside of him. With Jack Bowe coming out
What about Dylan Davis and Jose Lozcano? They're dopes. They're not going to. I mean, I don't know.
But aren't they a little more under the gun inside?
So what?
I think Jack Bowe coming out really helps.
Kisses doesn't have the pace speed to keep up with your horse.
I think Jack Bowe coming out really helps Bustin' Timberlake because with Jack Bowe not outside of him,
he wasn't going to be outside of him. He's going to be in front of him.
Right, but even going, he's not going to clear him. He's
he
not
is.
necessarily going to clear. Well,
yeah, he was. He's faster.
This horse now, I think he gets a much easier setup for himself today.
I don't know. I think trying to assume horses that aren't fast enough to win are going to get the right setup around here where trips become so random. And good luck. I guess the horse, like you said, I won't be surprised if any of them win besides the 6. I'm open to a lot of them. I didn't like this horse, but hey, good luck. He'll be a square
And can I ask you a
price.
question? What's wrong with the 6's race 2 back?
It was a Penn National.
Okay, I understand they're at Penn
I
National.
don't bet horses off 1 fig at Penn National. They
Okay.
never win.
What about the last race?
They
The
never-
last race don't make them competitive?
Last race was at Penn National.
Okay.
Look at his form. Doesn't this go to prove my opinion on Penn National?
I don't
What happens at Penn National, it don't happen here.
I don't disagree with you. But it
Well,
was
apparently
also,
you do because you're pointing out his races.
It was also for a barn who has taken some horses and turned them around. So,
Well, he didn't turn around the first 2 starts at $7,500 claimers. It was when we went to Penn National, ran a $5,000 3 lifetime claimer. This horse, he is all yours.
Okay. Listen, I'm not in love with him. I'm just saying.
I don't think he has a prayer.
Okay.
I mean, I've been pitching Penn National horses in New York for a long,
That's
long
fine.
time.
Listen,
and horses off of 1 fig,
I
improved
don't
figs at Penn National,
disagree
they
with
just
you.
don't
I don't disagree with
duplicate
what
them.
you're saying in general. I'm just. He's done well with these horses.
At Penn National.
Okay.
There's
And
races that
Figure
horse
Lakes
is running
too.
in?
I know. Awful. I got it. I'm very well aware.
Race number 8. I had one opinion in race number 8. There was no chance that Bridlewood Cat was going to run here at 9 furlongs over 6 furlongs at Laurel.
She was terrible yesterday.
Well,
down there.
she can't run anymore. But she was never running in this race, so I didn't even handicap her like she was in the race. And if you take her out,
I didn't even number her.
you take her out, Miss Marissa, who probably got Dylan's worst ride in the last few years, last time she ran. This is a Black-Eyed Susan. Why you wouldn't want to be forward with her when she's been forward in a couple of relatively quick-paced races and run extremely well. He rated her. She didn't even get left last time. He actually rated her for absolutely no reason and just got her in trouble the entire way around the track. It happens. You make mistakes. She's good.
And the guy who took advantage of that was Jose Lascano, who put Mrs. Danvers on the lead and just kept on going. And guess what? Jose Lascano winds up on Miss Marissa today.
She beat Bonnie South. It was pretty good.
Yes, she did.
She beat Risky Mandate. It was pretty good.
Yes, she did.
And I remember that day she beat Risky Mandate. It was Tom
Listen-
Amos's horse, short. And at first, thought, wow, how did this horse win? And then I realized it's a fast race. And I even said to Amos, I said, you know, we questioned David Cohen's ride on rating Risky Mandate. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think at the end of the day, I said this, she lost a horse that just ran.
I remember seeing Jimmy in Compton's after a couple of mornings after, and he had actually nominated her to the Alabama.
He told me that. No, he told me that. I saw him after the race, and I said, gee, your filly ran big. He said, you know, I was thinking of running her in the Alabama, it just came up too strong.
It was a quick turnaround, so he didn't run her, and then he talked about the Cotillion not being run last year, and he wound up in the Black-Eyed Susan, and she got.
But this is not an easy race.
It's not an easy race.
This is a complicated race, I thought. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you do have horses that are sort of moving up. One thing about Lucky Move, and we'll look at her last race, I don't care what the fig was last time. It's a totally made-up fig because the fractions were so preposterously slow. They legitimately did go somewhere around 28 to the first quarter in here, somewhere around 28 seconds. That I don't care what the final time fig was because this was running like a turf race, and she just shows up. She's not a killer, she's not super fast, but you know what? These are the kind of horses you have to be very careful about taking big stands against.
And she eats up distance. She
Yeah.
runs well at the 9 furlongs. She runs well 1 turn, 2 turn, 9 furlongs. And I think that comes into play when we don't see a lot of these here. So we don't see a lot of 9 furlong races anymore.
Yeah, I think she's very dangerous in here. I'll tell you something. I'm also scared of Thankful.
Okay.
Thankful's an interesting test. We'll look at her win 2 back when she showed more speed. She didn't run that badly last time in the Cumley. She was 3 wide. She was sort of shuffled out in the middle of the race, taken back. She actually ran okay in that race last time out. She's improved for Todd.
She has.
I'm not convinced that Thankful doesn't have a chance to take another step forward.
Her last 2 races of a 3-year-old year are so much better than her first 3.
It's a completely different horse.
Completely different horse. And it's very rare. It's rare to see that in a 5-week span, where it literally happened from Saratoga to Belmont. The race off the bench, and then she came back with that big race against Mrs. Danvers. Yeah, I mean,
The horse I don't like is the horse you have second, who's the second choice in the line or third choice in the line. See, I don't know if Thankful's going to be 5-2 in here. Maybe David's right. Maybe she will be. He's probably usually right. I don't think she's that good. I think she beats lesser fields. I'll be surprised if she beats this field.
Okay.
And I think she's going to overbet because of the Chad Brown factor.
I think if you go back to the distance conversation, She's run the trip 4 times. One of them was in the Fall Cities behind Envoûtant and Bonnie South last time. Throw that race out.
Why are you throwing? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Envoûtant? Oh, I tell you, I hear Envoûtant, I just start shaking. She's so good. She's nothing. She wouldn't be favored in here over Miss Marissa. How's that?
You don't think Envoûtant would be favored over Miss Marissa?
I think she's a real mediocrity. She ran well in that race. I'll give her that. But no, I mean, she would be off of that race going in there. Do you think she was that good?
No, I bet.
Bonnie South was second in the Alabama because Harvey's Little Goyle tried to win the race around the turn.
Yep.
Otherwise, she would have been second.
Listen.
She lost to another broad.
Okay.
You think another broad's a superstar?
No.
She got drowned in that race.
They're okay.
They're okay.
They're
but
okay.
she got beaten 10 lengths, Anth. 10 lengths. I mean,
Yep.
okay. I mean, I've got a little bit over the top on Envoûtant. It could be improved, to be fair, and I was unfair. But she got drowned in that race.
Yeah, but you see, and I like Miss Marissa a lot in here. This filly has 3 of her last 4
She would
races.
be Wild Love. What price would Wild Love and Making Sense be in this race? If she was 12 to 1 and you want to use her, that's fine.
At least she's proven she can go the trip.
So is the 1, so is the 4, so is the 7. So we know that they all can go the trip. All she's got going for her is Chad Brown.
She's run a lot. Well, listen.
Oh, she hasn't. She hasn't run faster than
Banking on
those.
Thankful. See.
Okay, I tell you what. I'll take the 1 against the 2 for 2 lunches. I'll root against my friend Chad Brown in this particular case. Well, I'm giving you 3 to 1, and my horse is 4 to 1. You've got her 4th. I've got him 3rd and 4th. I've got him pretty close. I don't think Smooth with a Kick is impossible.
take it.
I don't think Smooth with a Kick is impossible. I think she's a horrible bet at a shortish price.
Okay, I'll take her. I'll take 2 over 1.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I got a lot of lunches in the kitty. I haven't seen anything in a while. I mean, nothing.
Where the town's shut down. You won't go to Long Island when the world's perfect. Where are you going?
I went to
Don't
Long
put
Island.
that on me.
I went to Long Island for about 4 months this year. What are you talking about?
You
5
never want
months.
to say I get you at the train and I take you to the train.
Well,
you
that's
don't want to do anything.
It's Long Island.
You hold on a second. You were invited out.
Well,
with me and Acacia?
I don't go into restaurants. You never invited me with you and Acacia. That's a lie. It's a flat-out lie.
Get Acacia on the phone.
That's a flat-out lie. You never invited me.
We didn't invite you to King Umberto's.
Nope.
That's incorrect.
100% lie. 100%
She even
fantasy.
said she'd take you home.
100% fantasy.
Wow.
Complete fantasy. She never said that.
We
that
never
conversation
wound
took
up
place.
going
That never took
that
place.
week.
That conversation never took
Her
place.
and I never wound up going that way. Well, that's on her.
I liked it about 6,433 lunches.
That's on
now
her
you're
then.
blaming Acacia
Yep.
for your lie?
I'm gonna put that on
She's
Acacia.
on the feed there. This is one of your most humiliating moments.
I'm
You
gonna
lied to
call
me
her
and then
later.
you threw Acacia under the bus.
I'm going to call her later.
Okay. Just threw Acacia under the bus.
But you're trying to angle me that I don't want to pay my lunches.
This is a low point on Talking Horses.
Anywhere.
Okay, you know what? I just want the cash equivalent. My usual lunch costs about $100.
You don't
I'm going to leave them
go
out. So when you get the
anywhere.
6,200, leave it on my desk.
You don't
Race
go
number 9.
anywhere. Do you go anywhere? Have you gone anywhere this last year?
I'm just glad you all got to see him throw Acacia under the bus to cover for his lie. I'm just glad you got to see that. Let's go to the last race. Let's go to the last race. This is the humiliating one. Claude almost left the studio. He was so embarrassed by your
spit his
behavior.
water out just now. He can't leave the studio.
He's trapped in here. He's trapped in here
He's
with us
trapped
for
with
the
us.
rest of his life. I don't know what to say.
I have
guess
no idea what to
your
say
horse
yet.
has more speed than mine. And I will
See
say
you guys later.
with Hayeezy, with 5 Hayeezy, she was wide last time against the good rail, and she didn't run that badly. Holmdel Park's a little bit better horse, but she lacks pace. You just see how the track is playing because, yesterday, watching those races, they weren't making up much ground during the day, and I think it got more acute. Now, the track's dried a lot, and it was a different wind situation, not the same wind, same directional wind we had on Friday. But where else are you supposed to go
Just
in
listen. Here are your options here. You pick the 5 on top.
Well, what about Foley Square?
You pick the 6 on top.
What about Foley Square?
Or I think you pick your 4th horse on top and see if the Joe Parker, he won with.
This is not a trainer. This is not an owner change.
Right.
Whereas Joe won with he owned. This
Yep.
is the same owner who had it last time. That's one of the things.
But back from John to the Mid-Atlantic, back in New York now. I think those are your only options. Can Foley Square win? Foley Square can absolutely win. But Foley Square is going for a barn
That
that's
is
just not winning right
Dead
now.
ski, I agree.
That's it. I mean,
agree.
and, you know, at some point, here's the worry.
Thought the rail was okay, too.
At some point, that barn, in all likelihood, is going to start to win again. Sometimes these are the type of races where they wake up.
No, that horse could win. Yeah,
You're
no, I
making
agree.
pick fours, you're making pick
Take a
fives.
stand against. I'm going to take a stand
No.
against somebody in
No.
here that's logical on paper.
No.
No, thank you.
No
The
shot.
problem with Foley Square is the one big fig at Gulfstream Park West is kind of phony below.
That's it.
That's the thing.
And where it is.
Yeah, that's
at Old Calder. That's it.
Old Calder. Good old Calder.
I mean, it's nothing anything anymore. It's gone. And that's that.
You know, it's happened to all of us. You witnessed history. This is a humiliating moment for Anthony.
It wasn't humiliating.
Yeah, it was.
We're going to get a case on our phone.
No,
It's
we're not.
not going to be today. I'll be in the
You
booth.
made up a story and then you threw
We're
it
going
under
to
the
get a case on
bus.
our phone tomorrow. They're not running down there tomorrow.
I'm just glad Claude was
We're
here.
going to go to your office. We're going to get
Yeah,
her
why
on the
aren't they
phone.
running tomorrow?
I don't know. They're on Wednesday. I have them on radio Wednesday, which is helpful.
I noticed they are. Okay, we're done. You're
Well,
stuck with this guy
We're not
all
really
day.
done. You're stuck with him. You're stuck with him for the Prattles and me with the race calls today. Happy Sunday. Happy holiday weekend, everyone.
They won't be showing Anthony. His nose is going to be a lot longer by then.
This
Head on
guy
over to
don't
Naira
stop.
Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets.
Does not stop.
Sign up for Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Use Match 200. We will match you to $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. You play through Naira Bets.
$10 bonus, 50-50 here at Aqueduct and down at Laurel. That's the app. What else we got? We got anything else? Who's that? Steven? Who's Steven our ear today? I think that's it. That's it. We'll get to this Acacia bottom.
I'm not getting the bottom of it.
thing
You
tomorrow.
caught a lie and you threw her under the bus.
I
It
didn't
happens,
lie.
but it was.
I didn't.
I'm just glad
I
it's
want you to
been
tell
kept
everybody
forever.
though that you don't go anywhere.
I don't go anywhere, but that's not
All
the
right,
point. You
that's
made
it.
up a story.
It is a point. I was bringing pastrami sandwiches. The place closed down. I don't make pastrami, Andy. I make risotto.
Anthony, it might be time for you to learn.
To make pastrami? Yeah. Yeah, you don't want an Italian making pastrami.
My mom
do ya?
makes cured pastrami salmon, like salmon cured like pastrami. It's,
Ooh, you know, I'm not a pastrami guy. No pastrami, no corned beef. I'm a brisket guy. But my place is closed anyway, so
I'm
it doesn't
done.
matter.
I've had enough. You
He's
got
had
in for the
enough.
rest of the day. Good luck. See you later. Have a wonderful day.
Back with changes in 90 seconds.